Hi, happy Wednesday. I have news that no major news outlet is reporting on, and it's flying under the radar. And if you are a woman or care about a woman in your life, I need you to pay attention to this video, and I need you to get it moving in the algorithm. Like it, comment, share it, I don't care. Get it moving because, again, no one is talking about it. We are all incredibly distracted by Trump's statements that he made yesterday about invading Greenland, invading Canada, about how he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. It's done purposely. This news is about House Resolution 7, which is happening right now. They're talking about it the last couple of days in the 119th Congress, which we know started this month. As you can see, I Googled news, House Resolution HR 7, and not a single news report came up. It takes you right to congress.gov. If this was in the news media cycle right now, or even in the last couple of days, you would see links immediately to the news about this. I don't see anything. This is where you have to put your nerd hat on because this information is essentially like reading, I don't know, a manual of some kind, but this is where they hide the stuff that they don't want us paying attention to. So just general information, House Resolution 7 is recognizing the importance of access to comprehensive, high-quality, life-affirming medical care for women of all ages. This sounds great off the top. It is sponsored by Representative Andy Biggs, who is the Republican from Arizona. Let's get into the content though. Now, just as a reminder, this is not law yet. In fact, if you remember Schoolhouse Rock's I'm Just a Bill on Capitol Hill, essentially it's just a proposal, but they will have to vote on this, whether it goes through or not. So let's get into the content, and this is where you're probably going to roll your eyes and be like, I don't want to read this, but I promise you need to. Again, we see who's sponsoring it. The top text there, recognizing the importance of access, blah, 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 is the same as the first point under resolution. We then move on to, whereas women of all ages should have access to comprehensive, convenient, compassionate, life-affirming, high-quality medical services. Agree. Sounds great. Keep reading. This is where stuff starts to get really weird. They talk about emphasizing the whole woman, including her physical, mental, and spiritual wellness, but that's not the weirdest part. The highlighted part here says, whereas healthcare for women should also address the needs of men, families, and communities as they relate to women's healthcare. Why do men in the community need to be concerned about women's healthcare other than supporting it? Even further down, and notice this is not at the top of the resolution, it's kind of buried beneath. Anyway, further down is where I'd start playing the Handmaid's Tale theme song of some kind. They mention these pro-women's health centers. So you have things like, whereas Pro-Women's Health Centers is a consortium of centers that serves as an example of high-quality, comprehensive, life-affirming care that women deserve. Again, it's mentioned, whereas every pro-women's healthcare center certified clinic has a licensed medical professional. And then the bill continues to talk about these pro-women's healthcare centers. I want to see what's at the bottom of this, and then we're going to get into what exactly these healthcare centers are. Whereas Pro-Women's Healthcare Centers has certified healthcare centers nationwide that meet the standards for high-quality, life-affirming care and continue to do so. So they want these centers to be nationwide, all over the place, and sort of set the bar for the standard of women's healthcare. I didn't quite know what these centers were. They're capitalized, so I assumed it was like some sort of organization. There's lots of information to be found. In fact, you can scroll through this entire PDF about what pro-women's healthcare centers are and what they stand for. Let me go ahead and zoom in on information on the very first page of this PDF. AAPLOG welcomes the vitally important approach to women's health embodied in the pro-women's healthcare centers. The Hippocratic, woman-centered approach to medical management is needed to counter the tremendous push for abortion. We are glad for the tremendous help that the pro-women's healthcare centers will bring to women. And let's just note who this quote was by. Donna Harrison, MD, Executive Director of the American Association for Pro-Life Obstetricians and Gynecologists. This little bill on Capitol Hill, yeah, it's the spark that's going to light the national abortion ban. And not a single news outlet is talking about it because they're too damn worried about Donald Trump and whatever nonsense comes out of his mouth. I encourage you to like, comment, share, get this in the algorithm because women all around the country and those that support women need to know.